So let's just say that you did call your own office. And have you ever called your own office and not been happy with the way someone answered the phone?
Unfortunately, yes, I have.
Have you told them immediately there was an issue, or did you like write it down and have a big staff meeting saying, okay, so I called the office this week, or how do you handle it?
Well, I videotaped it. I mean, I recorded it.
Okay.
And so then at our monthly office meeting, it was, hey, everybody, guess what? So hit play and play it. Everybody's like, there's usually one or two people that start sitting lower and lower in their seat. And I don't do it to beat people up. I do it to educate. We try to learn from that. Obviously, I play good ones too. So, it's a coin flip on, oh, is that me? And did I do it right? So you want to celebrate the good and you want to correct the bad.
So, Dr. Z, let's say that you hired me to be the mystery shopper.
Okay.
Do you lay out an objective for me? Do you say, hey, and these are the 5 areas that I want feedback on, and I want it via email, or is it kind of loose? Just go in there and tell me what your thoughts are. I mean, how do you educate me as the mystery shopper about what I'm supposed to do?
Both. All the above. Sometimes what I do, I send in a general shopper without any preconceived. You'd be amazed at when you have been in a business for a long time, you get a feel of what's supposed to happen and what's important, and yet you send in a mystery shopper without any of those preconceived notions, and they come back and they point out things that you're like, wow, I didn't realize that was important. I didn't realize that you saw that was something that would be on your, hey, did you know this was no good or this was really great? So sometimes I send him with just a generic, hey, come in for the experience and then we're done. I want to, let's have lunch and talk about it. Sometimes I send him in on a specific, if I have a particular employee or a particular area that I've been working on, I send him in with specific goals, specific things to say, even a list of things to ask and see what the response is. And then they email that, they write it up, they educate me as to what their experience was. So some of both. Sometimes you do real specific, and then sometimes you do, hey, just generally come in. And then sometimes I'm amazed on the general ones, the high points or the low points. I know in our DJ business, when I started that, we were doing all these weddings, and I thought that I was doing a very good job. And of course, I think every business owner takes pride in their business. Yes. And I was amazed, like just what you're saying, when I hired people to do mystery shopping, they would point out little things like, hey, you don't have a cover on your outlet, and your overhead music wasn't on in your office, and it smelled weird. And you're like, what? Yeah, you would never asked them, hey, tell me how the smell of this place. You know, that would have been one of your lists. But it helped a lot. Yep. And I want to read this quote to you. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, co-founder of Apple, he was famous for saying, be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. How has the mystery shopper helped you achieve excellence more consistently? Well, it keeps everybody on their toes. My employees know that there's going to be one coming in whatever future. And so everybody's kind of on point for that a little bit. Number 2, it allows me to not let things get too far off target. Okay. When you're taking a shot at a target, the further away you are and the less you are, the bigger the distance of the miss. And so the more you're constantly staying on top of that and recalculating and reassigning that bullet to hit the target, the less you let things get really out of whack before you keep things controlled. If I'm somebody watching this, and let's say I own a bakery, and we're open maybe 6 days a week, and maybe I own a hair salon and 6 days a week, and I own an insurance business 6 days a week, these 3 different companies, how often should I have a mystery shopper come in? That's an excellent question. I kind of think of it as how busy they are, the actual experience of how many people are coming through there. I mean, somebody that has a business that you don't have a lot of, you're not very busy. I mean, probably a couple times a year, but businesses that are busier, maybe as much as once a month to at least maybe once a quarter. Okay. I know, and just a little anecdotal, from my experience, I know with our DJ company, I got to a point where I actually started sending somebody once a month, and we were doing about 70 to 80 parties a week. 70 or 80 customers a week was kind of the max volume we saw. And I did it because I always wanted the staff to be on their toes, like what you said. Hey, we're going to have somebody come by this month. Anybody could be that person, and that's a really big deal. So, and even as we're building the Thrive experience, we've had our customer service team call some of the subscribers because you never know who it's going to be, and that sort of, I guess,
not rude, but that sort of candid feedback is what we need
Absolutely.
for those people. Now,
Absolutely.
what types of things have you actually learned, let's say with your optometry business, that was a total epiphany where you did a huge change or update as a result of a mystery shop? Or is there anything you can think of where you're like, well, I had no idea, and now we're doing that completely different?
Went to uniforms. There for a while, we had a dress code, and if you're not there inspecting every single person, dress codes got sloppier and lazier, and so now everybody is wearing scrubs with the monogrammed, and that's something that I think probably off the top of my head I was like, oh my, that you did not see that.